Okay, Toyota lovers, got one for you here. I have to share this. I feel compelled. Um, 1999 4Runner. It was not able to control the other windows in the vehicle. So I started troubleshooting, and I got so far as pulling the kick panel here, and incidentally, the floor is absolutely saturated with water. The floor mat, that is. Got some rust starting here. It's pretty awesome. If anybody happens to know where that water is coming from, that'd be great. I'm gonna try and figure that out myself. Anyway, I started looking, and pin 3, which is that pin right there, the third one, is supposed to always have 12 volts on it. And it did not have 12 volts when the door was open, but it would get 12 volts as the door closed. So, long story short, I pulled the kick panel, and here, let me put some light on the subject. I pulled the kick panel, I unplugged the cord from these two, the white and the blue plugs. I unplugged this cord that leads to the door from those two, and I pried the rubber boot out of that hole, and I pried the rubber boot out of that hole, and then I pulled the rubber toward the plugs, and look at what I found. Check that out. It's a wonder any of this worked. So, obviously, I've got a little wiring project ahead of me, but I was shocked. I was amazed. That is a lot. Boy, that's not focusing worth a darn. Let's see. There we go. Look at all those wires. Just broke off. It's amazing. That's certainly the first time this has ever been apart. So, thought I'd share that because I bet you this is typical. Anyway, catch you later. Have a great day. Okay, in order to get these crazy little fasteners out, what I've found is stick the tip of a very sharp knife. Whoops, look at that. That was awesome. Well, that worked too, surprisingly. Anyway, what I was trying to do was pop it out this way by sticking the tip of the knife in it. But once again, it worked. So whatever. All right. So then if you want to take this door panel off, which I would highly recommend, you can you can slip a knife or something underneath the front of this main control switch and pry it up. That'll pop that out, and then well, here, I'll show you. Hang on. Let me stuff all this junk back in here. Okay, so here's your main control switch. That's what it looks like when you're starting this project. Stick your pry tool under there, then pull forward, and this comes right out. And then you can unplug the cables one at a time. See, they've got these little, you push on the tab to release them. They each have that little tab that you push on to release. All right, so you get those out. There's one single Phillips screw that holds the door handle on, and then there's a little catch on the back of the wire that holds the door handle, holds the wire to the door handle release. You kind of pop that back with a little screwdriver or with your finger, and then the wire slips down out of this. And last but not least, let's see, after you get this connector off and this connector off, then you can pry the panel away from the door, either with your fingers or with some kind of plastic tool, and that will get the door panel loose. And then I believe it just lifts right off. See? Yeah. Then the door panel lifts right off. And you are faced with this. So the reason I went through all this trouble was that I was hoping to be able to pull the wiring harness in through the door a little bit. And be able to work on it a little bit more easily. This is certainly not the first time this plastic has been off here, I'll guarantee you that, based on the condition of it. But here's our wiring harness that's headed for the door hinge area. And I'm thinking that I might have a little bit more work to do. I'm going to pause this crazy video here for a second. Okay, so I took a look at that. I'm thinking the better choice here is remove the speaker. What I'm trying to do is get a little bit more room to work on this so it's not super annoying to work on. So anyway, I'm going to pause the video again. Okay, so I took out 5 screws, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took out 5 screws and grabbed a hold of the speaker and gave it a yank, and it came out. So now I guess I'll undo this wire. Sure I will. Anyway, I'm going to undo this wire next, and this wire, and then get rid of this thing. Okay, now looking through the speaker hole, you can see where this wiring harness leaves the door and goes out toward the hinge here. So you can also see the brown tape right down there and down there that I am going to cut with the tip of a sharp knife. Let's see if I can sneak that down there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut this brown tape, 1, 2, 3 spots it looks like. That will give me all sorts of room to work on this wire loom. Well, interestingly enough, I cut the tape, and then I grabbed a hold of the wire loom and gave it a yank, and the whole thing, the whole bracket came out anyway. So I guess you don't really need to do the tape, because just give it a yank. And I was able to fit everything through that hole, so it worked fine. Well, interestingly enough, the majority of the wires that broke off were for the blue plug. And only one on the white plug broke. So anyway, there it is. So, well, as you can see, this is going to be a whole lot easier to work on. So anyway, we got this to a place where we can work on it, and I'll keep you posted. Okay. So I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, wow, that's big wire. Well, it is big in diameter on the insulation. However, it's extremely flexible speaker wire. So that's what it looks like after it's all been soldered and heat shrinked. So it's going to bend at that joint very nicely. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. All right, so there's what it looks like with the heat shrink and the wire. That is speaker wire. It's extremely flexible. It's got like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like a latex jacket or something like that. But it's going to bend very nicely at that point. So that should get rid of that problem forever, I hope. So anyway, we'll keep you posted.